Time for sound design. Today I'm going to show you how I created this beat. So if you think that sounds a little bit weird, that is because it's 50 layers with 50 different samples, but each sample is only 100 milliseconds long. That means it's 1/10 of a second. That's very short. So if I go to Ableton, I'll show you the session. So it's 50 layers, as you can see. And if I zoom in on a layer, let's start with the first one, you see that it's a very short sample. So if I play just that one sample, this is a kick drum, it's very short. So what the idea is behind this track or this beat, this loop basically, is to use samples that are only 100 milliseconds long. And how I did that is that I put the grid to 1/16 at 150 BPM. 1/16 note is 100 milliseconds. You can calculate that. I will link down in the description to a website where you can just put in the tempo and milliseconds and it will calculate it. So then populating 50 different layers with small sounds, percussive sounds, melodic sounds, you create this very kind of neurotic but satisfying beat. If I just play the first 10 layers, it sounds like this. I will expand them so you can see it better. So if I just loop these two bars, and then the next 10 layers are more melodic sounds. So it sounds like this. So this is a very easy way to get a lot of detail in your beats in a very fast way. So let me show you that in real time by creating a new beat. Make sure that your grid is actually on 1/16 and you don't change that along the way. Put in a new audio track. Let's create 8 tracks. And then I just go to my drum library, pick something. For instance, this kick. And then cut off the rest so it's only 100 milliseconds. I mean, you can change the length. I choose to go for 100 milliseconds, but that's just kind of a random number. So let's put in some kicks by copying, duplicating. Oh, that went wrong. Next is snare. It almost doesn't matter, you just pick something and go for it. The idea is to make quick decisions and not overthink this too much. So now we have this, a hi-hat maybe. I mean, hi-hats are not even 100 milliseconds often. Oh. Maybe an open hi-hat. And you can also choose to not have to start somewhere, not at the beginning of the sample, but a little bit further, just to create more variation. Maybe reverse this one, give it a different color. Actually, take that away. Okay, this is not the sound I wanted. Maybe a bit more different sounds, like more glitchy sounds. And more offbeat stuff. So as you can see, I'm really sticking to the grid. So I'm not placing anything on the 32nd note, or it's all on the 16th. And that's kind of the part of this limitation that I imposed on myself to really be quick and not have too many different things. Okay, so one more sample. Maybe something like this. But this is a very long sound, but I can only use 100 milliseconds. So I'm just going to pick one part, throw the rest away, but then repeat this so you still create the illusion of a pad sound. Some volume automation on this to make it fade in. And this is almost like a tracker. To me, it sounds a bit like a tracker where you have all these little short samples and they alternate between each other. Of course, in Ableton, you don't have that limitation of sample time. But I think using a technique like this creates interesting results. So what I would do with this now is just to resample it to an audio file, save that to my loop library, export it. And whenever I'm going to make a track, I have a loop that is mine, that's original and a little bit weird. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.